The AI engineer title in 2026, it means three different things, and most people are aiming for the wrong one. Today, I'm giving you the honest roadmap. No hype, just the signal. Whether it's building wrappers, scaling infrastructure, or fine-tuning models, you need a strategy that matches your starting point. Today, I'm giving you the honest 12-month roadmap. We're cutting through the overhyped skills and focusing on what ML teams actually want to see in your portfolio. We'll cover the skills that matter, the fastest path to building, and the common mistakes that'll cost you the hire. Let's dive into the reality of becoming an AI engineer in 2026. If you're ready to bridge the gap between headlines and technical reality, let's get to work.
The demand for artificial intelligence expertise is multiplying across every sector of the economy. Billions of dollars in potential revenue are on the line, and companies are hiring aggressively to capture that value. The World Economic Forum reports that AI has already created 1.3 million new roles globally, spanning from small startups to legacy enterprise companies. AI engineering job openings have grown 143% in a single year. Starting salaries routinely clear $150,000, a massive wage premium over traditional software roles. But getting your foot in the door is brutal. Recruiters spend exactly 7.4 seconds looking at a candidate's resume. Applicants are failing to pass that filter because they are applying with skills tailored for the 2023 hype cycle. In 2026, companies require entirely different capabilities. If your resume reflects the old market, it goes straight into the trash. If you're a software developer trying to make the jump, the roadmap currently looks like a chaotic scrawl of conflicting requirements. You log online, and half the tutorials tell you to get a PhD in mathematics to write custom neural networks. The other half say you just need to practice writing clever ChatGPT prompts. This confusion stems from the job title itself. AI engineer is used by hiring managers to describe three completely different roles. Spend 6 months studying for the wrong version of the job, and your application will instantly fail the screening process. To survive that 7-second filter, you must first identify which of these three distinct archetypes actually leverages the technical skills you already have. The first path is the model or research engineer. These are the people training large models from scratch. Taking this path requires a deep background in linear algebra and calculus. You are competing directly against top-tier academic researchers for a very small number of positions. The second path is the MLOps or platform AI engineer. They manage the infrastructure, the data pipelines, and the GPU clusters. This role is heavy on system reliability and continuous integration. You spend your days keeping the serving infrastructure from crashing, which means you rarely build actual product features. This chart breaks down the three roles, leading us to the third most in-demand path, the applied AI engineer. These engineers wire existing large language models into user-facing products. The day-to-day work is focused on API orchestration, managing context windows, and building retrieval pipelines. For the majority of current software developers, focusing strictly on applied AI is the fastest and most realistic route to a high-paying offer. It turns your existing coding ability into the core of the role. Once you pick your path, you have to filter out the noise. The AI skills that felt productive to learn back in 2023 are now considered low-signal noise by recruiters. Collecting prompt engineering certificates is a trap. Employers view prompting as a baseline expectation. Deep diving into abstract ML theory is another distraction, yielding zero deployable code. The skills companies desperately need are core software engineering fundamentals: clean Python, Docker, API integrations, and deployment pipelines. Hiring managers don't want theorists. They need engineers who can take a fragile, unpredictable model and securely deploy it into a stable production environment. Candidates often spend months building the exact same projects as thousands of other applicants, entering a maze of generic work that leads nowhere. Submitting a GitHub profile full of generic Jupyter notebooks or basic ChatGPT clones will result in an instant rejection. Technical recruiters spot tutorial code immediately. It shows them you can follow instructions, but it fails to demonstrate any end-to-end system-level thinking. You must evaluate potential portfolio projects strictly on the friction it takes to build them versus the signal they generate. One serious project that handles real-world errors carries more weight than a dozen perfectly copied tutorials because it proves enterprise readiness. Mapping effort against hireability, tutorial clones sit squarely in the bottom left. A high signal choice is a custom retrieval augmented generation pipeline over messy data. But the project that generates the most callbacks in 2026 is an evaluation harness for a real AI product. Every serious AI team needs eval infrastructure. Building one proves you measure hallucinations, test for model bias, and track regressions over time. These projects are tedious and require weeks of hard coding. Because they are difficult, almost no one builds them, which is exactly why they allow you to skip the resume pile entirely. The most efficient transition relies on mapping your existing technical background to the correct path forward without starting over. If you are a back-end or full-stack developer, pivot immediately to applied AI. Your experience designing APIs and structuring web architecture gives you a significant structural advantage. If you are a data engineer, an SRE, or work in DevOps, pivot to MLOps. Your expertise with Kubernetes and data pipelines is exactly what companies need to keep their systems running. Unless you hold a PhD or have a deep academic background, avoid the math-heavy research path. The fastest path to an AI role relies on compounding the technical strengths you already have, rather than resetting your career to zero. This timeline lays out the path forward over the next 12 months. It moves from core foundations directly into high-signal portfolio builds. The universal rule for breaking into AI right now is to stop studying in isolation like an academic and start shipping like a software engineer. Spend your time building a tight 3-project portfolio. Make sure your documentation explicitly covers real-world costs, latency metrics, and how you handled system failures. The industry doesn't need more people who can explain a transformer model on a whiteboard. It pays a high salary premium for the engineers who can securely deploy it when into a production environment.
Transitioning to AI engineer in 2026 isn't just about tools, it's about shifting your mindset to workflow infrastructure. We've covered the skills that move the needle and the roadmap to get you there. Remember, prioritize signal over hype. Build functional systems that solve real problems rather than chasing every new model release. In 2026, the moat is no longer just the model. It's the compute and the infrastructure you build around it. You have the roadmap, now it's time to build.
If this breakdown helped you navigate the shift, hit the like button and subscribe for more technical deep dives. I'll see you in the next one.